Hey guys, this is going to be the making of a linguica bomb. This is one of my favorite delicacies from my childhood. My dad would bring me to various sub shops around Gloucester, Mass, where I grew up. Melina's was the original spot, and we would get linguica bombs. And this is just the most perfect sandwich you'll ever experience. So let's see what goes into it. First I have some onions I cut up, and we've got our pan. We'll throw that right in here. I need some butter. We're gonna saute these onions just to get us kicked off. So that's the first step, really, is to get these onions going. We're going to throw a little backcountry action into this. It's going to be a mix of inside the house, getting everything ready, and then we're going to go outside and kick this off on a little backpacking portable wood stove that I have. I think it's going to be pretty fun and very tasty. Let's get into it. I'm going to carve off a generous slice of butter. Once we throw the meat in, that's going to keep things lubricated a bit. But to start with, we need something to keep the onion from burning. Oh yeah, look at that. Very nice. Alright, let's get things going. I'm going to put this aside. Here's the rest of our stuff. Linguica. Key ingredient. We can't make it without the linguica. Genoa salami. Without the Genoa salami, it's not a bomb. Linguica bomb, steak bomb, same thing really. It's a hot sub with Genoa salami fried into it. Let's open this up. And I'm going to just peel off a few slices, enough to kind of grease it and salt it. And I'm going to cut these into little strips, just like this. And we're going to set that aside. Linguica time. I don't know if I'm saying that right. If we have anybody in the audience who happens to know how to say that, leave me a comment, or I don't know. Let me know if I'm saying that correctly. I have this great sausage cart that I go to at work. It's called Fred's Franks, and I usually get the chorizo. I found out after going there they actually pronounce it chorizo. Who knew that that's the way you say it? Is that the way you say it? I don't know. Let me know. Alright, let's cut this up, and I'm gonna do about half of this thing. Put this away and save that for later. And this, I'm going to cut into little thin rounds, sausage rounds, if you will. My mouth is starting to water already. Just the smell. So if I was doing the steak bomb variety, this would obviously be shaved steak instead of linguica. I've often thought about combining the two. Seems interesting. I think at some point you get into a situation where you run out of roll. You don't want to have it too overflowing, because then it gets hard to eat. And the idea here is I'm really kind of practicing, I guess, for a scenario where I'm doing this out in the woods. Pretty cool. Alright, so we've got our linguica, we've got our salami, we've got our provolone. I don't actually need to cut this up, this is just going to go right in and melt up, so it doesn't need to be cut. I think we're done with our prep. So I'm going to go and get the stove started, and then we'll get cooking. Okay, so we're outside on the back deck. We're going to fire this thing up. This is a little wood stove, but the bottom is very insulated. I'm not going to burn my deck down, so don't worry about that. Let's get this thing going. Now this stove that I'm using is called the Biolite Campstove 2. And it's a great little stove. It'll run on either little pellets that you can buy. They sell them. You can also just get pellets that you'd use with like a smoker, or you can just burn wood. For this I'm just going to use pellets because it's easier and I don't have to go collect any wood, and I want to get this going because I'm hungry. So let's fire this guy up. The pellets that they sell come with this little fire starter. It's just this real thin, probably fat wood kind of stuff. And you just need a little bit. Hopefully this won't get too wet. The stove has a little blower on it, which is going to really encourage this flame to kick up. And I'm just holding this above the flame for a bit so that it can get nice and lit and get plenty of airflow while it's getting caught. Oh, there we go. That butter's starting to melt. It's a good sign. Nice big flame licking up there. Okay. I think we're in business. So we're really just waiting for these onions to get soft and start to maybe brown a little bit, and then we're going to throw the meat in. That's where the good stuff happens. You all know what comes next. Oh, yeah! Look at this. This is a thing of beauty. Gotta break up the salami a bit. Let it grease all over everything else. Hopefully I can fit all this in my sub roll. I guess we'll find out. It's usually a challenge. Starting to get some nice brown action on the onion. So it should shrink down quite a bit too. Now the color of the grease has started to get orangey, which is a good sign. Means we're getting close here. End game. Oh, yeah. All that in this little tiny roll. We'll see. I think we'll make it happen. And we'll try to go cheesy bit first so that it can melt the rest of the way sitting on the bottom. Getting a little bit of roll splitting is always a challenge, but it's okay. Might not be the prettiest thing, but sure will taste good. Oh yeah, look at that. There, my friends, is the money shot. Hey, stove got going pretty good. Pick up some of these scraps. Oh. Quite possibly the greatest sandwich.